Good afternoon. My name is Katerina Odarchenko, and today we and the SAC Group will analyze main message of next Republican nominee for 2024 presidential election, Tim Scott. So I propose to you see his short video and then analyze his archetype and main messages. So let's go and let's see his first video. So I will show not full his speech because usually it's 40 minutes, but just 1 minute a part of this speech. Let's go there.
This administration has taxed, borrowed, and spent trillions of dollars trying to replace a hand up with handouts. They're attacking our American values, our schools, our economy, and our security. But not on my watch. Not on my watch.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott has made it official. He is running for president in 2024. A rising star in the GOP, Scott used his announcement on Monday to attack President Biden and pitch himself as a candidate fighting for hope and opportunity. He did not use his speech to take any jabs at the exceedingly crowded field of candidates and potential candidates, including former President Trump and fellow South Carolinian Nikki Haley. Scott enters the race with some high-profile endorsements, including Senate Minority Whip John Thune. CBS News' Robert Costa caught up with him.
I think Tim Scott has a vision for the future of the country that is really going to resonate with the American people, and part of it comes back to just his demeanor, his temperament. I think people are anxious for a positive, hopeful, aspirational candidate.
Robert Costa now with more from the Palmetto State.
Jim, good to be with you. I'm here in North Charleston, South Carolina, a great golf state. As you know, I'm sure you've been down here many a time to play the links, but I was here today covering Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina as he entered this Republican presidential race, trying to carve out his own lane in an increasingly crowded field. His advisors, his allies tell CBS News they believe he does have a path to the nomination by underscoring his faith. In fact, you saw that message on the poster behind him on stage here in North Charleston. It said, "Faith in America." And what Scott is going to try to do in the coming months, we're told, is to make a case to Republican voters, evangelical Christians in Iowa, in New Hampshire, and here in South Carolina, that he's the candidate who's best positioned to be a standard bearer, who can address issues like race, the economy, foreign policy from a traditional conservative perspective, a bit of a fresh perspective as someone who's been in the Senate for 10 years but isn't well known on the national scene. And that's why Senator Scott, we're told, is getting in now. He wants to try to generate some interest, some momentum before that first Republican primary debate coming up in August in Milwaukee. For Senator Scott, this is the end, the culmination of a journey for him in American politics. It began with a hardscrabble upbringing here in South Carolina, then to the United States House of Representatives. And I've been closely covering him for the past decade in the United States Senate. And what's interesting about him is he has navigated this Trump populist moment in the GOP by making sure he still has support from that bloc, but also making sure he always keeps his bona fides with the conservative movement inside the GOP. For him, it'll be a balancing act potentially in the coming weeks and months about whether he can keep that profile, keep that reputation ideologically inside the Republican Party. Jim.
Robert Costa in North Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you.
So what we just saw here, that Mr. Scott taking part in a conservative line, and obviously he have like image as a fighter for conservative values, and also he used in his speeches 3 main points. So he used his speech that he is African American, but he have all opportunities, and that he against socialism. Second, he used classical religious values. So in his speech, he usually use a lot of testimonies from like old, new testimony from Bible, and he always said about Christian values. And also he said about his background, which like classical American background, classical success story. So why this candidate is good for GOP, for Republican Party, other votes, so also in the United States used the term GOP, because some people criticize them that they don't endorse African Americans, they don't endorse women, and that their like conservative line, it's like white supremacy line. So for them, very good to have on primary candidates as who African American, who women, and we will analyze their message also a little more in the next video. So what do you think about perspective of Mr. Scott and his role? And also please ask me other questions about this presidential race. Thank you.